Dude, I'm so satisfied with this. You can actually write real software in my language like now, which is insane to me. It is so insane to me. So you have procedural macros now, and if you're not familiar, it's just a function that runs like at compile time instead of runtime, and it can be any function ever, right? So you can do const x equals read, so that reads a line from side of the input, and then you do something, and then all of that can be like baked into the final syntax itself. That is just a string, and then you get like an iterator, just like this, right? So if you do print um, it all of this, so it's not an iterator really, it's an object. It's just an object with all of the information that I could give you like reasonably, right? So you have the items inside the brackets because they have to be inside brackets. Kind of wanted to do it like you just put a macro in there and then it goes through the whole tree, but that was way too hard, and that also made the language like really horrible, right? Because people would do horrible things if they decide to use it. But you have the items, you have the actual iterators, next, speak, whatever, next off is a big one as well, right? And then you go through that, right? So you're like, yo, next one's gotta be string, and if it's not string, just crash, because it's at compile time. You should catch that at compile time, and then you execute something, and then you return this, right? So this is implicit, but you can return it explicitly if you want, right? And that's important. That's important if you have like if statements and then you want to conditionally return like early. But anyways, yeah, we have this explicit struct, and that is what's serialized. And the coolest thing ever is that this is all done at compile time, right? This is just Zig can do that. Zig can do that. So if we go into proc AV, no, proc Zig, right? Just like this, encode expression, right? And then it goes through all of the fields that you have possibly, like in the whole expression thing. And then it's like, yo, if it exists, just encode the payload, and payload is like finesse and stuff, and not explicitly, right? And then you do all of that, and then you love that, and then you can convert all of that to tuples, and then the tuples are like, yo, at the end of print, and it matches like exactly to the AST, which is super important, because you can learn how to do them through reading just like the source code of this file, which is insane. And you also have some helpers. I'm not too decided on the standard macro library, but yeah, what is definitely going to be a macro, just like this, right? Because you give it a word, it prints a word, right? And it's like whatever you put inside the brackets, it gives you like the thing that's there, and then you can just return that, right? So if you want to do proc give m do and then you can be like, yo, print m dot items, and then you items items hello, and then you can just return that. Let me yeah yeah, and then that's just that. It's that simple. You can even do it like that if you really wanna. So inspect just prints it and returns it back, because everything's an expression, everything returns something, and you don't really have to do events, because the events just group multiple expressions. So yeah, this is like the simplest macro that you can do. It just prints whatever's here, which is insane. Like I'm so happy. I'm so satisfied with the system that I have. Like it is established. It is so established that all of the parts of the language that look like this, they're already like not implied. They're already like decided. Like before I decided to do this, well, I had a little like write up of this already. I just ported it to how it would look like today. But yeah, and you also have comp, right? But comp is, maybe I'll deprecate this, right? So const x equals comp read, and then you print x. You can comp do reads, and then that's just super hoisted. And by super hoisted, I mean it executes at past time and then just like gives you the result back as a constant. Like a constant is in like, how in binary, how like when you do assembly, there's like a constant section, whatever, and all of that is like right there in your program, and then you don't have to read it from. You get it, whatever. So yeah, obviously I have to fix some bugs because this is not fully stable, but I don't know. I feel like this is perfect. I feel like this is perfect. I already have a format established for this, so proc print f. Do I have this? No, I don't have this. But for example, print, right? And then print just puts all of that. So you give it a format string, and then what it does is it expands it to this, right? FMT. And I'm probably gonna add this later. So if you don't give it a string literal as a first thing, because you can check that, right? So one, for example, or like a reference to a string, I don't know, x const x equals whatever. Yeah, that can do that. That can do that. So my next plans are expand the path. I really don't I really don't want to add anything to the parser, but I feel like that's just necessary. To 1200 lines, but I'm probably gonna add like compile time type information ish things, right? So that you can reflect at it like at runtime, as well as just like from the macros. So you would have, for example, ident print, and then like uh, you pass through the whole tree before that, and then you know that like const x equals whatever, right? And you see that it's a string literal, so you can be like, yo, this is a string literal, but like somewhere there, but x is just an identifier, like a reference to the variable, and then do all of that, then do all of that. But that's not coming like today. That is a little too complicated. But yeah, so I'm thinking maybe I'll actually get rid of uh, doc comments like this because I have multi-line comments, but many languages choose not to include them. And every single day I'm like, yo, maybe there's a good reason for that, right? Because what Elixir and Python I think do is this. Well, this is how Elixir looks: doc, and then you just give it a multi-line string, and the format actually matches perfectly, which is fine. That makes it super fine. So, and then you just put something in it, right? So all of that documentation is just there. I don't know, maybe that's useful for the sole purpose of that you can have tests separate from documentation, and you can have different types of strings, like multi-line string things. So for example, uh, at doc, all of this, right? It's a convention to prefix stuff like this with at the built-ins, the stuff that's not going to appear like in your final program, but only as compile time, right? All of that, and you can have like, yo, this is a doc, but like this is actually a test, and it's like different. And then the tests look like this. And like looking at this, by the way, this is like something that I'm gonna implement later, but this is so cool. This I want to adopt this so bad, right? You give it an input, you give it something, and then like you check the result value of this, and then that's checked. So if you run like revo test, it's gonna go for all of those. It's gonna go for all of those, and it's gonna see if that's correct. And if not, then it's gonna fail like the test. I don't know. I don't know. Then could be the move. It could possibly be the move. But yeah, give me some suggestions. Give me some suggestions because I have nobody to talk to about this. Every single programmer I know, so I'm like in the first year of university, so I don't know anybody who knows stuff like this. So yeah, give me some suggestions. Thanks for listening.